What if I told you that science, yes, modern, evidence-based science, has actually confirmed some of the most famous events in the Bible? Sounds surprising, right? We live in a time where faith and reason are often seen as opposites. But what if they're more connected than we think? For years, skeptics have dismissed biblical stories as mere legends. Yet archaeological discoveries and scientific research are proving otherwise. Events once thought to be mythical are now backed by compelling evidence, forcing even the most doubtful minds to take a second look. Think about it. How could an ancient text, written thousands of years ago, contain details that align with modern scientific findings? From the exact dimensions of Noah's Ark to a stone inscription proving the existence of Pontius Pilate, these discoveries are shaking up the conversation. We're not talking about vague speculations or religious wishful thinking. We're talking about real, measurable data that is rewriting history as we know it. And once you see what's been uncovered, you'll never look at these biblical stories the same way again. So, are you ready to dive into 5 groundbreaking discoveries that confirm biblical events? Prepare to have your mind blown, because what you're about to see is nothing short of extraordinary. Let's get started. The Bible is more than just an ancient book filled with stories. It is a true guide for life, written by authors inspired by the Holy Spirit over centuries. Its central message transcends generations and cultures. Imagine a timeless manual that teaches values, guides decisions, and provides comfort in difficult moments. How often do people search for answers to their struggles? Well, the Bible already has them. And it's no coincidence that it's the most translated and printed book in history. After all, when something transforms lives, it must reach as many people as possible. But what if I told you that the Bible isn't just a religious book? Think of it as a compass for human existence. From teachings on character and morality to insights on leadership and purpose, its pages reveal lessons applicable to any context. Even great entrepreneurs and thinkers like Napoleon Hill have drawn from its wisdom to shape concepts of success. If someone wants to grow personally and professionally, ignoring the Bible would be like discarding a treasure map. Now, here's something even more fascinating. Many of the events recorded in the Bible have been scientifically proven. That's right. For years, scholars have tried to refute biblical stories, but instead, they found supporting evidence, detailed studies, and astonishing archaeological discoveries. And we're not talking about mere assumptions or blind faith, but real, well-documented facts. Want an example? Let's talk about Noah's Ark and how researchers arrived at some incredible figures regarding its construction. Noah's Ark is one of the most debated stories in the Bible. Many skeptics have long dismissed it as pure myth, arguing that building such a massive vessel and filling it with animals would have been impossible. However, scientific studies have shed new light on the feasibility of this event. Researchers from the University of Leicester examined the dimensions given in the Bible, converting cubits into modern measurements. Their calculations revealed that the ark would have been 145 meters long, 24 meters wide, and 14 meters high, with a weight capacity of 51 million kilograms. These numbers suggest that the ark could, indeed, have floated and carried a large number of animals without sinking. Beyond the physical structure, let's consider the logistics. How could Noah have managed such an endeavor? Some scholars propose that he and his family relied on advanced construction techniques available at the time, using strong, buoyant wood like gopher wood similar to cypress. Additionally, they may have employed feeding and waste management strategies used in large-scale animal transport today. Modern cargo ships, for example, use carefully designed ventilation and compartmentalization systems to accommodate animals efficiently. Could Noah have applied similar principles? It's not so far-fetched when we look at ancient engineering marvels that still baffle scientists today. But the most intriguing part? Flood narratives exist in multiple ancient cultures, from Mesopotamia to China, all describing a great deluge that wiped out civilization. Could they all be referencing the same historical event? While science continues to explore the possibility of a worldwide flood, the discovery of marine fossils in unexpected locations, like mountaintops, adds to the mystery. And if Noah's Ark has a basis in reality, what other biblical accounts might also be supported by science? That brings us to another fascinating topic, the Tower of Babel. The story of the Tower of Babel is one of the Bible's most intriguing accounts of human ambition and divine intervention. According to the book of Genesis, humanity once spoke a single language and sought to build a tower that would reach the heavens. However, God confused their language and scattered them across the earth, explaining the diversity of languages today. For centuries, skeptics dismissed this as mere legend, until archaeologists uncovered something remarkable. A stone tablet from the 6th century BC, discovered in ancient Babylon, modern-day Iraq, depicts a massive step tower. The inscription on this artifact describes a ziggurat, a structure eerily similar to the one mentioned in the Bible. But how does this discovery connect with the biblical account? Ancient records describe Babylon as a hub of architectural innovation, boasting monumental buildings that defied the limits of their time. These structures, built with advanced brick-making techniques, allowed civilizations to construct sky-reaching towers. In fact, archaeological findings confirm that Babylonian ziggurats often served as temples and were meant to bring people closer to the gods. The Bible, however, presents a different perspective. The tower was a symbol of human pride, an attempt to reach the divine by human effort alone. This raises an interesting question. Was the Tower of Babel a literal structure? Or could it symbolize an ancient civilization's downfall due to unchecked ambition? More importantly, the confusion of languages remains one of history's great puzzles. Linguists have long debated how and why human speech evolved into thousands of distinct languages. Could a singular proto-language have existed before major linguistic branches formed? The story of Babel suggests a sudden split, a theory that aligns with certain abrupt shifts in linguistic evolution. While science continues to explore these mysteries, the Tower of Babel reminds us that even ancient texts may hold valuable insights into human history. Speaking of divine interventions, another biblical event that has sparked both awe and scientific curiosity is the parting of the Red Sea. Let's dive into that next. The parting of the Red Sea is one of the most dramatic miracles in the Bible, describing how Moses led the Israelites to safety while the waters miraculously split in two. For centuries, skeptics considered this purely symbolic, a metaphor for liberation rather than a historical event. However, modern science has taken a closer look at the possibility of such an occurrence. Studies suggest that strong winds reaching 95 kilometers per hour could create a temporary land bridge, the biblical description of a strong east wind pushing back the waters overnight, exposing the seabed just long enough for people to cross. This aligns with the biblical description of a strong east wind pushing back the waters overnight. Geological and historical evidence adds another layer of intrigue. In certain areas of the Red Sea, underwater ridges and shallow regions exist, which could have contributed to such a phenomenon under the right conditions. One striking comparison comes from the 1994 tsunami in the Philippines, where eyewitnesses reported seeing the sea open up temporarily due to sudden shifts in water displacement. These real-world examples suggest that while divine intervention remains a matter of faith, natural processes might provide a framework for understanding how such an event could have happened. The real question, however, lies in the precision of the event. The Bible states that the waters stood like walls on either side and closed in just as the Egyptian army pursued the Israelites. The idea of a perfectly timed natural disaster raises eyebrows. Was it coincidence or something more? While scientists continue to debate the mechanics, the story of the Red Sea remains a powerful symbol of deliverance and faith. And speaking of historical figures connected to biblical narratives, let's shift our focus to a man whose existence was once doubted but later confirmed: Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor who sentenced Jesus to crucifixion, was once considered a figure of legend, with no concrete evidence of his existence outside the Bible. However, that changed in 1961, when archaeologists unearthed a limestone inscription in Caesarea Maritima, an ancient city in Israel, measuring 82 centimeters wide and 68 centimeters high. The stone bore Pilate's name and title, confirming his role as the prefect of Judea. This discovery silenced skeptics and reinforced the historical accuracy of biblical accounts. If Pilate was real, what else in the Gospels might be historically precise? Beyond the stone inscription, Roman records provide additional insights into Pilate's rule. Descriptions of his governance align with the biblical portrayal of a leader torn between political pressures and personal hesitation. The Gospels depict him as reluctant to execute Jesus, even washing his hands to symbolically distance himself from the decision. This matches what historians suggest about Pilate's leadership. He was known for being pragmatic yet ruthless when necessary. The fact that he ultimately gave in to public demand reflects the political complexities of governing a volatile region like Judea under Roman rule. The implications of Pilate's confirmed existence extend far beyond a single historical figure. His name etched in stone serves as a reminder that many biblical narratives are rooted in actual history. And if the trial of Jesus truly unfolded as described, it raises deeper questions about the crucifixion itself. What if the very cross used in that moment carried an unexpected detail, one that hinted at a strange twist of fate? That brings us to our next revelation, the mysterious connection between Jesus' cross and Barabbas. The crucifixion of Jesus is one of the most significant events in history, but there's an intriguing detail that often goes unnoticed. Roman crucifixion was a brutal method of execution, and crosses were typically customized to fit the condemned individual. But here's where it gets interesting. Some scholars suggest that the cross Jesus carried may not have been originally made for him. Instead, it could have been meant for Barabbas, the criminal who was freed in his place. If that were true, it would add an eerie symbolic layer to the event. Jesus, the innocent, quite literally took the punishment intended for another. Adding to this mystery, historical records indicate that Jesus struggled to carry his cross, to the point where Simon of Cyrene was forced to help. Some believe this wasn't just due to exhaustion from the beatings. Rather, the cross may have been larger than necessary, built for a man taller than Jesus. This aligns with what we know about Barabbas, whose name itself is fascinating. In Aramaic, Barabbas means son of the father, a striking parallel to Jesus, who was often referred to as the Son of God the Father. Could this be mere coincidence, or was there a deeper, divine message embedded in this historical moment? Ultimately, the cross represents more than just an execution device. It symbolizes sacrifice, redemption, and an unparalleled act of love. Whether or not it was originally meant for Barabbas, Jesus' decision to endure it remains a defining moment in human history. And now that we've explored scientific evidence behind biblical events, a bigger question arises. How many more biblical accounts could also be confirmed by archaeology and historical research? Now that you've seen how science is uncovering the truth behind some of the Bible's most famous events, one question remains. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you let it be just another interesting fact, or will it challenge the way you see history, faith, and even your own life? If discoveries like the inscription of Pontius Pilate, the scientific possibility of the Red Sea's parting, or the dimensions of Noah's Ark have been confirmed, what else might be waiting to be uncovered? The evidence is out there and it's growing. But more than just proving ancient texts, these findings invite us to dig deeper, to seek truth beyond what we've been told. What if the Bible is not just a religious book, but a historical document filled with insights that still matter today? What if the past holds answers to questions we haven't even thought to ask? That's something worth exploring. If you found this eye-opening, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more fascinating revelations like these. And don't forget, share this with someone who needs to see it, because the more we uncover, the closer we get to understanding the greatest story ever told. See you in the next video.